Hello everyone, today I'm going to review a very wide-angle lens, the Brightin Star 9mm f5.6 that has a small secret and a characteristic I love on wide-angle lenses. Most of us use wide-angle lenses, but ultra-wide-angle lenses not that much. I like taking landscape photos and architecture photos with wide-angle lenses, but I never used one so wide. And that is the reason this lens was so fun to use and review. It's like experimental photography. First thing you will notice if you buy a lens like this is its premium build quality. It feels better built than any manual metal lens I've tested so far. The black slightly glossy finish is great, the yellow and white markings look great. I wish Nikon made lenses for the Z mount with the old gold yellow markings. The new Z lenses look a bit boring. Just look how good this looks on the Nikon ZF. The overall design of the lens seems thought out, like this writing here that says 9 ultra wide f5.6. It reminds me of the Tim Burton very underrated movie 9. Also, this yellow line near the aperture ring that makes everything come together. Speaking about aperture rings, this lens has an aperture ring with clicks, and a nice one, matching perfectly with the dials on the Nikon ZF. The focus ring is also very nice and turns smoothly, not that you are going to use it very often because this is an f5.6 ultra wide angle lens. This lens is fully manual with no electronic contact, so you won't get any EXIF data. The mount is metal and the whole lens is metal and glass, even the lens cap is made from metal. But sadly this lens is not weather sealed. And here is the secret part, you can use a rear filter with it and it actually comes with an ND1000 filter. I was so happy when I discovered this because I love wide-angle long exposure photos. And it is super easy to install, as you can see here. This filter has a small blue color shift that won't bother anyone, but more about the filter later. This lens can focus as close as 20 centimeters, pretty nice, but don't imagine you will get too much subject separation or bokeh. Also, this lens has very little focus breathing, but I don't think anyone is going to do focus pulls with a lens like this. Yes, this lens starts from f5.6 and goes all the way to f22. I shot this lens using the Nikon ZF handheld at night, and with the great ZF IBIS and low light performance I got some pretty great shots without the need of a tripod, and the noise level was acceptable. This lens is great for interiors and architecture. Don't ever forget you can crop photos if you don't like the edges of the frame. This lens suffers from a bit of barrel distortion, but it is easily correctable in post. Flares are well controlled, as you can see here. I was expecting worse results, but I was pleasantly surprised by this lens. Chromatic aberrations are nowhere to be seen, which is another good point, and this lens, if stopped down, has one of my favorite characteristics on lenses, and that is sun stars. At f8 they look nice, but they really shine at f11, so if you are like me, you will enjoy this lens very much because it also has very good image quality. Yes, it is sharp from f5.6 and the corners look great as well. The far edges are a bit soft, but that goes away at f8. This lens is pretty impressive when it comes to sharpness and contrast, but there is a downside. And that downside is vignetting. Not the worst I've seen on a wide-angle lens, but it is there and you need to correct it in post. And now let's talk about the addition of a back filter holder. I used a lot of wide-angle lenses in the past for my travel photography work, and one thing that made using these lenses cumbersome was the fact that you had to use some sort of filter system. Having this small filter on the back of your lens solves a lot of problems in my opinion, and manufacturers should make this a feature in most wide-angle lenses. A thing I noticed with the filter on is that you need to refocus the lens. Infinity is no longer where the markings are, so keep this in mind. Overall, this is a great wide-angle lens and I had tons of fun using it while I made this review. It has great image quality, is very well built, has an aperture ring with clicks and that nice back filter. So if you are looking for a ultra-wide-angle lens, I highly recommend the Brightin Star 9mm f5.6 ultra-wide lens. If this video was helpful, subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when I release new videos. And if you want to support the channel even more, use the links in the description at no extra cost to you. See you next time!